Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something different that we've never done before in this segment. This is something I've never seen before, and I've seen the trailer, but Theo's seen the movie, and I'm not sure if he's seen the trailer. I don't know. But we're just going to go over this. Theo had some things he wanted to say about this Backrooms and the whole Backrooms thing. What got you into this, and what got you into the theater to see it, especially?
My daughter, that plain and simple. I had no idea. I knew movies coming out. I know when movies are coming out, but I had no clue that it was such a thing on the internet. And my daughter was like, I want to see it with my friend on last day of school. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go see it. And so I did, and had no context going in what the hell I was watching. So yes, this is interesting.
Wait a minute. You typed it up as the Backrooms trailer. That's a different movie, dog. Leave it up. Leave it up.
You know what I was looking for? You know what I was looking for. It could have been.
Oh man.
Yes.
Brought to you by the Wayans family. The Black
No, so so I had no context going in. I guess you have more context than I did, right? About this whole internet meme or YouTube video that kind of went viral. We'll get into it in a second, I guess, when we watch the trailer, which I don't even think I see the trailer. I didn't see the trailer.
Oh, you went in cold just because that's cool. So yeah, I want to get your impressions. So we can go ahead and run the trailer, right? Unless you got something else.
No, let's get to it.
All right. So this is the official Backrooms trailer rewatch. I don't even know what to call this, but we're going to check it out again. So this is our official Backrooms trailer from A24, and we are starting now.
I found something in the store.
Okay.
Oh, snap. Oh, they put A24 in the trailer. Interesting. Or did they?
Place.
They got a black man in it.
I found a place.
I'm just smiling because it's interesting. Why they got a black man in this?
You know, usually they say black men just run from situations like this, but you stuck, bro. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Hello?
Try to explain it.
See, that's when you go break off on the legs of those chairs.
Yeah. This don't make no sense.
A broomstick.
Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Okay, I'm gonna come back here with proof.
All right, you feel me? Yeah.
I kind of want to see this.
Follow my lead.
I'm watching the trailer the second
What
time.
is this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I've been here every night since I found the place, and I still barely scratched the surface. All right, just take it slow.
Some poltergeist kind of.
Oh my God.
Pull me up, pull me up, pull me up!
What do you see? All these rooms.
This is more interesting the second time I'm seeing it.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's like a maze. It just goes on and on. Sometimes I'm scared I'll get lost.
Clark, can you hear me? I don't understand. What is this?
Just now noticing something.
I'm being quiet because I was at, I've seen the movie, but
It's beautiful.
interesting.
Am I right?
Beautiful is the interesting term for something. Yeah, it's got some vibes, man. It's got some vibes. There's a lot you could take from that, but
Did you watch the original Backrooms? There's a documentary out there with the Backrooms, 9-minute documentary that they put out there. It's under that found footage classification of horror.
There's one from the infographics show that's like the Backrooms Explained, something like that. Yeah, Backrooms Explained. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, there's actually go to YouTube. The guy Kane Parsons, I think that's the director. He created this YouTube sensation at 16.
Oh, okay.
And it went viral for a 9-minute video. It looked like found footage set in the 90s of this massive space.
What I kind of brought from that was in the trailer itself was the vibe of Blair Witch Project. So that's what I was feeling. Now, should I go watch this Backrooms 9-minute thing and then watch the movie, or what?
I mean, that's kind of where the all the young folks got excited about it, right? And so Eddie's saying, "Yep." So I think a lot of them got hype about it, and so that's what they wanted to go do. My daughter, and her middle school crew, they were super hype about this movie based on that 9-minute video. So I guess you would need to watch it to get.
And you know what? This brings me back to what I said in one of the shorts a while ago, that the idea and concept of a trailer needs to be turned on its head. And the trailer or the content that they put out before the movie should be not seen as a preview of the movie. It should be seen as a prologue, an introduction, some kind of new concept where
reimagining.
Reimagining what a trailer is. It's like, I don't want to see this summer, the black fade out. We're going to get blah, blah, blah. And that whole trailer format, it's played out. It's dead. You could do a lot better, but that's what I'm kind of gathering from this. And I like this idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, so going in cold, I was like, what do I expect out of this? I was just going to say this. I actually liked it. First, so I saw Obsession, which is another, I think it's Sean Curry or Sean Baker. I think that's the name of the young guy who did the Obsession, another YouTube sensation guy, blowing up the charts. If you don't know, Obsession is probably on power to make $100 million. They made the movie for $750,000. So that just goes to tell you where these YouTubers are like taking over Hollywood. So another YouTuber created, based on his short story, more extended version of it. Got all the youngsters, the Gen Zers, excited. And I was impressed. Well, number one, I think they had good actors, right? Chiwetel has been around. You don't know who he is, been around forever. Actor, been tons of stuff. And then the other actress, I heard Renee, I think, forgot her last name, but she's going to be in a Oscar nominated movie here pretty soon here. But good acting, so that helped. But the whole concept was intriguing. Just, have you been young and it's like, or two things, I think it's like a dream state. You ever had a dream where you're like in a space that looks kind of familiar, but it's like missing something? And then, you also feel like someone's kind of, following you too or looking at you. That's what I think this is trying to recreate, that experience of a dream where it's like kind of real, but not, something familiar, but not, and it's a little off.
Yeah.
And, then the horror comes in where it's like, I think someone's following me, right? Or why am I running? And have you ever had a bad dream like that before? And that's what I think the Backrooms is recreating, right? Just that vibe, that feeling of being in that kind of environment. And so I think that's why it kind of hit a nerve with kids. I mean, horror is great because horror kind of exposes our inmost fears and anxieties, right? And so that's why the genre, and it's cheap to produce, right? If you can kind of do it right. So business-wise, it makes sense because you can do a horror film in a one room if you do it well.
Yeah, totally.
But it also gets into, the psychological. I always go back to this horror film, The Babadook, right? What it feels like to experience, being a parent, right? And the love for a child, but also the pain of dealing with all the issues of being a parent, right? And trying to deal with that. So this is very similar to the anxiety of, being in a familiar yet unfamiliar place. And I think that's what is driving the virality. How do you say that word?
Virality
of this, kind of meme. And so I think I'm super excited that so I kind of dug it, man. It was a slow burn, not like Obsession, a little bit. I thought it wasn't as scary either, but it made me, it was a thinker. I'm telling my daughter, I was like, and we saw both movies together. I said, you know what? I think this is a thinker. You're going to be thinking about this a little bit longer than you will Obsession. And she's like, yeah, you're right, Dad.
So did she dig it? Was she really into it? Or
she thought it was slow burn too.
Okay.
And then I think the part that really resonated for everybody was when they went to the found footage, and it's really only a small piece of the movie, which they should have extended more, when they flipped it, you saw that scene where she's like, Clark, what are we doing here? And it was like that grainy image from a camcorder, because that's the origin. And that's when the movie was really good. I mean, every review I read too said the same thing. You were like, oh, this is what this is about. This is good. Because it's like when you're in that grainy environment, it feels like you're part of it. So now, and then you go into these little freaky rooms, everything looks weird.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm in the movie now.
So I got into the whole Backrooms concept because I'm fascinated with shopping malls and strip malls. And I started thinking about, hey, what could happen with all these abandoned malls and shopping centers, and there's like a lot of underground shopping centers or office buildings where the top, 18 floors or whatever are all these weird shopping complex, and it's just this weird thing now where all of a sudden a lot of these places are becoming abandoned, shut down, turned into storage, and so sometimes I'll go places I'm not supposed to go. So I've walked into these abandoned buildings before.
Same here.
And it's a creepy feeling to like you're walking in there and there's like an old Tandy or Gateway computer sitting there, and it's still got a disc in it that you can just pull out, and you're like, all this abandoned stuff, and you start hearing things when you're walking around abandoned buildings and abandoned locations, and you're like, wait, did someone say something? Did I hear that? Was that a memory that was just being recreated from hanging around this area or being abandoned? Or maybe you work at an old building and you have to get there early or get there late. There's a certain creepy feeling. Anyway, I was looking up malls and abandoned malls and this kind of stuff, and after a while it started showing me the algorithm started showing me backrooms kind of stuff where people are like, hey, we went in this old abandoned whatever, we found this, and I started kind of getting stuff from that ghost conspiracy thing. Is this place haunted? That reality stuff. So all that started coming in through the algorithm all at once. And I was like, oh, this is an interesting phenomenon, because a lot of people now aren't sure what's real.
Ooh.
It's not like we were sure before, with grainy footage and all that. But what I saw from the Backrooms trailer was like, stuff coming through the walls and stuff partially there, but partially not there. It's like, oh, those are the kind of AI mistakes that we were seeing early on.
Yes.
And it's like interesting.
Ooh, see, the more you talk, the more I'm like, dang, this is tapping into something. So that's probably why, let's be honest, it made $80 million this weekend. So it's like the number one movie by far. And even though it's a slow burn, it's not really a jump scare type of movie, but I can see why it's resonating a little bit, because you just hit on some themes I didn't even think about, like this whole, like, is that real? The fakeness of AI, just real enough, but it looks like, that's creepy AI slop, the old school Will Smith eating spaghetti, right? Just looks weird and like, people with six fingers, stuff like that. That's what this Backrooms is also kind of hinting at, right? This is like offness of the world that we live in. And so, but so I think there's two things going on here, right? So just like the Slender Man and other type of memes out there, there's like these real world cases where people's like, I've been in these abandoned buildings, right, and seen crazy things, or like you're right, if you go to old school office building early in the morning or late at night, you're working late, in the flicker of the lights, you're like, what was that? It's happening in your cubicle. I've been there. We all been there. If you worked in corporate America, like, what's that?
Yeah.
Everybody, hello? Hello? Huh? Let me, it's time to go. So we all been there, but it taps into that aspect of life. So, but then there's the other aspect where people took that meme from the internet, right, and made it their own, which is what this Kane Parsons did, right, to kind of create his own kind of die. And now he's, so we talked about this before the pod, right? They were testing these ideas that's already out in the zeitgeist. They just brought them down and funneled them into a story. So the unique thing, do you want me? So I guess, do we want to give spoilers on this one? Are you going to watch it, or do you want to just wait until we?
I am going to watch it, but eventually, which means go ahead and spoil it, because it could be a while and whatever.
All right. So look, this is a spoiler warning. We're going to get into the back rooms. If you don't want to listen, pause for right now, come back, or skip ahead, a few minutes. So I just want to give you guys a spoiler warning that we're going to get into. So yeah, so I did go see it. So before I get into mention to the spoilers territory, like I said, I liked it. It was very unsettling. It was a little slow burn first half. Second half, when they went to the grainy, so basically Clark is the main character, Chiwetel's character, and he's going through some bad times, right? He owns this old furniture store, and he's like, what am I doing? And he's got a therapist that's helping him deal with the break of his wife. So he finds these back rooms, and then he gets lost in them, enjoys it, comes back out. He's an architect by desire, never officially, but he starts to map it out, but it's infinite. Right, these back rooms never end, and they're all pieces of kind of like his story. Right, it's like where he dresses up as this captain, and it's called Captain Kark, right? And so it's like a bird that comes popping in. You saw the video, right? It's got
that's where I see like the pirate imagery.
The pirate imagery, right? So it's tied into his psyche. That's what the whole premise is. And so when he goes in the back room, every time he goes in there, it's like a piece of his. It's weird though, right? It's like the furniture's piled up, or there's the what's it called? The wheel of a ship, which is the surface level, his work life. But once you get deeper levels, it gets into his personal life. So you see stuff about his family life and stuff like that. And so that's when the back rooms gets interesting. And then when they bring in the grainy characters, the grainy footage, and brings these new characters, that's when it gets interesting, because they get tore up, basically. They get lost because it's basically built on his psyche. So they're foreign objects to his psyche, and so they get dispelled, basically. They just basically killed. And so we slip to another character, his therapist, and the whole time in the movie is prepping you through her memories. So we're seeing, how she dealt with her mom, or how she moved from her house. And it's like little things every now and then. And then when she gets in the back rooms, we start to see imagery from her, those images we already saw. So she's starting to build the back rooms based on her trauma, or based on her memories. So it's starting to flip from Clark's to hers.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah. So it's like, and then finally at the end, we finally find out that these scientists are exploring the back rooms, trying to figure this out. And he's like, it's infinite. We could never get to the bottom of it, because it's tied to the human consciousness and what we remember. And it's trying to create a memory of a memory.
You know what? That does tie in a lot to what we've been talking about just in general with the zeitgeist, and making content from content, copies from copies, repost, and people aren't sure where the original source of.
And even, spoiler alert, even the people are weird looking, like 6 eyes, like 8 hands. It looks like AI slop.
Yeah, and that's you know what's funny? Not funny, but we're talking about slop. A lot of your dreams are kind of, for lack of a better term, sloppy. Like your dreams aren't photographs. It's just random thoughts going by unconsciously, and
that's what people don't realize, man. We're like trapped. I'm about to get philosophical. We're trapped in our own prisons because we see reality a certain way, but that's not reality. Yeah, and even our mental state, our dreams are telling us like, this is how you remember it, but it's effed up. It's not really what happened.
Yeah.
That girl looked at me funny, so she didn't like me, so that's why I didn't try to ask out. She actually liked you, but guess what? She was just mad about something else. And that could have been your wife. That could have been your wife, That's why I say it's a thinker, man. So if you go check it out, man, I didn't spoil too much, but I did spoil enough to kind of hope you. But when I realized it was, and I'm, then I started going down a rabbit hole. I was like, is it only triggered to what was traumatic about your memory? And that was the strongest one it could latch onto. So it created that, as opposed to, hey, it's a sunny day on a Tuesday and I'm eating an ice cream cone. It's not going to create that. That's a happy memory.
Yeah. No. And this goes back to our Benjamin Hardy time discussions when that book he had, not Be Your Future Self Now, but the one before that where he was the time book, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But basically he gets into time and past, present, future, where a traumatic event in the past, it's like, man, when we got in a fight with such and such and such, like, no, there actually was no physical fight. There was just an argument, and and you were so distressed that you started walking backwards from the whole fight, and you fell backwards into the grass and hit your head. There was no big fist fight. Yeah, it was like
you got hit your head on a rock. You like, I was bleeding from that fist fight, man. He beat my ass. No,
I was like, no, you were just a coward, dog. You were just chicken. And it's like once somebody tells you that, you're like, oh. And then everything changes, right?
Yeah.
It's like everything changes. You might call that dude up and be like, hey, man, I'm sorry I treated you bad, man. I thought you beat me up.
And I think that's what I'm realizing, man. So we talked about this, like, man, when you turn a certain age.
Are we done with spoilers?
Yeah, we're done with sports. So go check it out. Okay. We liked it, but yeah, so we can take out the spoiler warning. That's why I said you turn a certain age, man. I think that's when I'm starting to realize, oh, none of this, is real. So it's like, that's why you don't give an F anymore. You don't, because it's like, oh, it's perception. So if I perceive that you're a mean person to me, I treat you like you're a mean person to me. Or I perceive you as a good person, even though, you said something that's crazy. Like, for instance, I was at my son's basketball game. Refs, we like, of course, you fight for your team. Refs suck. Yeah. They always call the fouls against us. What is this? You suck, ref. So I was like, wait a minute, but that's our perception. And then you see what happens. Once you kind of put that frame in, then you're like, oh, he just made a makeup call. He called a foul on my son, but then the kid barely touched my son, and he made a makeup call. He's human. So I told the ref, I said, ref, we just give you a hard time. I'm used to it. See, he's a human. So now he's not this other. He's not against us, but it's my perception. Because, of course, I'm going to be for my son, and every call ref against us, he's out to get us. He must be paid.
Yeah.
The other team's got him in his pocket. No, it's not like that. And so I think, to your point, it's like you got to realize that, and that's what the Backrooms, we're not getting to spoilers, but it's kind of hinting at that. It's just like, it's a memory of a memory, and it's not real. And I think, and so, certain characters get lost in that. Some characters are like, that's not real. And I think that's why I thought it was a thinker. I told my daughter, I was like, this is a thinker, man. You may not get everything now in this one. It's a slow Obsession. The other movie we talked about, it's not as deep of a thinker. It's just basically, a great acting moment where a person was forced to do something that they didn't want to do, and then now you kind of, dealing with those consequences. So, but it was an interesting concept, but it was still not, it's not as deep as I think the Backrooms, because I think Backrooms gets into something a lot deeper in the human psyche. So I'm just saying all this is like, man, horror, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's good, man. Chef's kiss, man. They're doing some good stuff, man, and getting people to watch it. On the business side, so Obsession did something that no movie's done in like 40 years. You know what that is?
Unfortunately, I read the notes here, so I know that it had an unprecedented jump. So I'm guessing that it went, the box office numbers went up the second week instead of down.
Yes. Typically, a movie comes out, biggest bump is like the first weekend, right? And after that, everything decreases. It's been going up last 2 weekends in a row.
Oh, 2 weekends in a row.
Yes. So instead of going down like 20%, it jumped up like 10%. I think one weekend, another weekend, 15%. So it's increasing.
Nice.
So Obsession jumped again its third frame from 26.4 million and crossed the $100 million mark domestically. So this guy is red hot. This director, Hollywood can't get enough. They're like, we'll pay you $10 million. I mean, the movie cost $750,000, Mr. Benja. It's about to make $100 million. Well, no, I take that back. It cost $750,000. They bought it at I think Sundance or one of those movie festivals for like a couple million, like $5 million or something like that. It's gonna make $100 million.
That's crazy.
And now, guess what? You got a franchise. The Obsession, at least, that movie about the girl and this Willow Wish. So it's like horror films, I think it's endemic to horror films, right? Don't they have to put the mythology into the storytelling? so they can always have a like art the clown, right? The what's it called? The Terrifier clown or what's it called? Friday the 13th, Jason. Freddy. They got to have some world building in there. So yes, the first movie's over, but Freddy never dies.
Yeah.
So he already put world building into Obsession, and then the Backrooms is once I kind of talked about, we talked about earlier, spoiler territory. It's non-ending. You can have it. Don't matter. It's just all that matters is the different characters.
That's what I was about to say. I don't know if you call it. I mean, it's a franchise, but you could really build what's the word for it? When kind of like an episodic movie where everyone is with a different character. Anthology kind of thing, like they do with some shows like White Lotus or Beef, where every season is a different.
So that's why these movies are like red hot. Now you get the money aspects, not what you make of the first money, is what you're gonna make on the franchise.
Yeah. I'm thinking thoughts now, man.
Me too, crazy. Man. I'm like, I gotta get a horror film out there, man. This is ridiculous. You can get the right one. So even so Backrooms just hit $81 million. Backrooms. And I think they made it for $10 million. I mean, if you see the movie, you can tell it wasn't a lot of money went into this.
Okay, now I got thoughts for our next segment because we're going to go into our next segment pretty soon. But yeah, man, this is wild. Backrooms. I gotta watch it. It's not even on streaming yet. I can't go to Amazon, check it out.
It'll be there soon enough. But yeah, man. So yeah, man. What we're gonna talk? You want to keep going, or do you want to talk about the Mandalorian stuff? Or it's up to you.
Yeah. So okay. As I said, this wasn't one of our normal go-throughs. This is kind of a discussion on something one of us has already seen, and the other of us, me, has kind of experienced in internet land, but we haven't. So it was just an interesting segment, not our usual trailer review or whatever. So we're not going to review it, but thank you all for checking it out. Theo, can you wrap up the segment? Because I don't know how to do wrap-ups.
Everyone, thank you for listening. This is what we do every week. We get into the business and also the pop culture aspect of all things related to movies, TV shows, and everything like that. So if you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and comment at Show versus Business on X, Threads, YouTube, and Instagram. Listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit us at our website at Show versus Business to learn more. And any comments or ideas about content you want us to react to, hey, just let us know below. We'll reach out to you. All right, Mr. Benja, have a good one.
Peace.